Hi everyone, I'm Shaylin here with Reedsy. So today we're going to be talking about how to build confidence as a writer. Confidence is something that so many writers struggle with. In fact, I would say almost all writers struggle with confidence. It can be really difficult to feel confident in your craft, especially in a form like writing, which can be so subjective. So here are 6 ways to develop your confidence as a writer. Or more importantly, maybe not develop your confidence as a writer, but stop letting insecurity be a problem. Step number 1, take joy in being a beginner. A lot of the time, especially with writing, we can feel like we're not allowed to be beginners. There can be a pressure to be good right away, and I think that this comes from maybe a somewhat general idea from people who aren't writers that writing is easy or a skill that anyone can do. Since most people know how to type, and a lot of people have ideas for stories, and most people consume a lot of stories, I think a lot of people really do not understand how difficult writing is, and so they don't really understand how much time it takes to develop your craft as a writer. I think because of that, it can feel embarrassing to be a beginner and feel like you're just not allowed to be bad. You just have to be good immediately. Like for literally any skill, this is not realistic and not possible. We all have to go through a process of being a beginner at some point. You'll get the most out of being a beginner if you just accept that you're a beginner, take joy in being a beginner, and learn things openly rather than spending your whole years as a beginner fretting about the fact that you're a beginner and worrying about whether you're good enough at writing. This will, in most cases, extend the beginner phase because rather than just learning openly, you're fighting that progress by just feeling like you have to be good immediately. In many ways, we will all continually be beginners because we will all continually be learning new things about craft, about stories, and this kind of never ends. So just take joy in that learning rather than feeling embarrassment by it. It's okay to be brand new at something. And I think that one thing that can give you perspective is try a new skill, like unrelated to writing, and you will be bad at it, and see that it is totally okay. You know, like if you've never painted before, try painting a picture and see that it's okay to enjoy the process even though you're bad at it. And then apply that same mindset to your writing. Right now, I've been learning how to rock climb, and I feel this like really easy openness whenever I'm rock climbing to ask people who are better than me for advice. And I feel like it can be hard to do that with writing. Take that mindset of being a beginner, which maybe you can easily apply to other skills, and then just apply it to writing and be like, okay, I feel like it's okay to be a beginner at this thing. It's also okay to be a beginner at writing. Number 2, have goals for your writing outside of just getting positive feedback. I think that the main goal of your work just being to get positive feedback, a quest for positive feedback, can lead to a lot of problems with insecurity because then any critical feedback at all kind of just destroys your whole reason for creating. Plus, it puts the burden of your own confidence on everyone else rather than yourself. So remind yourself what your goals are for writing beyond other people. You know, if no one was ever going to read the work, why are you writing it? What is your personal goal? What is your personal source of enjoyment from this work? Why do you enjoy creating it? Finding joy in your work outside of any other person's opinion gives you a foundation for loving your work no matter what anyone says about it. So number 3, write what you believe in and what you want to write. Write projects that you have complete and total faith in. If you genuinely believe in your story and you love the story that you're going to write, that is going to be a really solid foundation for your own confidence to build upon. No matter your skill, no matter how you execute it, just having like a genuine love and belief in your story is the most important foundation because in the end, nothing can really shake that. Even if your execution needs work and you get some critical feedback, then you can take that and use it to just make the story even better, rather than if the foundation was maybe a need for other people to like it. Step number 4, only get feedback when you're ready. One really easy way to just destroy your confidence is to get feedback when you're not ready yet. You're kind of setting yourself up to fail. If you're not ready to get feedback and you get feedback on your work, it's going to be kind of miserable and you're probably going to take the critical feedback in an overly sensitive way. Not everyone is ready to get feedback at every point. You want to wait until you feel secure in the story and ready and excited to get feedback. If you're scared to get feedback, then don't get feedback yet. Seek feedback when you're excited to get feedback, and the critical feedback will feel like a gift rather than an attack. But if going into a situation where you're getting feedback on your work, you already feel insecure and you're dreading it already, that's a sign that you probably just shouldn't be getting feedback on your work at this point. Give it more time and get the feedback when you're ready. Step number 5, view feedback objectively. This is a difficult skill to learn and it does take time and practice, but one very important skill for becoming a more confident writer is the ability to view feedback objectively rather than taking it personally or feeling like it's an attack on your story. If when you get feedback, you interpret it as, someone telling you that you're a bad writer or your story is fundamentally bad, this is going to make it very hard to actually implement the feedback in a meaningful way, and it's probably going to just make you feel terrible. But viewing feedback very objectively for what it is can really help your confidence. So when you get feedback, if someone says the story was too slow, taking that to mean this literally just means the story was too slow and now I can go fix the pacing, rather than interpreting it as my story is bad, I'm a bad writer. If I were a good writer, I would have gotten only positive feedback. This is not the case. Even brilliant writers continually get critical feedback that is meant to help them. And so being able to view feedback objectively and just framing feedback in a very objective way will really help your confidence because you're not reading in personal attacks into the feedback. And this goes along with getting feedback when you're ready, because it's hard to do this if you aren't ready to be getting feedback on your work yet. So if you aren't ready to get feedback on your work, just respect that within yourself. And then when you are ready, take the feedback as objectively as possible. And finally, step number 6, celebrate your strengths as you work on your weaknesses. It's great to keep trying to improve and work on your weaknesses. It's great to know your weaknesses. Knowledge of your weaknesses doesn't take away from your strengths. For a long time, I've really needed to work on dialogue. Dialogue doesn't come super naturally to me, and it's not my strongest point as a writer. It would be easy for me to get feedback on my dialogue and take that to mean, oh, I'm just a bad writer. A good writer is great at everything. A good writer can write amazing dialogue. The truth is, I can celebrate what I'm good at, something like description, while still improving on my weaknesses and eventually getting to the point where I feel more confident with dialogue. Your weaknesses don't negate your strengths, and it's good to just celebrate the things you're good at and view your weaknesses as just things you're continually improving on. Every single writer has strengths and weaknesses. You can write work that celebrates your strengths and then be a beginner, be an open-minded beginner regarding your weaknesses, and that's totally fine. You don't have to be amazing at everything in order to write a great book. You just have to be open to improving. So those are 6 ways to become a more confident writer. So thank you so much for watching. Remember to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any new videos from us. We've got new writing, editing, and publishing tips every Friday on this channel. Until next time, bye.